intro. So, let's, this is a special, a little bit different kind of pub wisdom. What we're going to do today is we're going to actually, we're going to review Sarah Dawn Moore's 10 Lies Women Are Told About Men. And we're going to give our take on it point by point. And I think we're going to roll it through. I'll do some post-editing and maybe try to make it look more professional.
Stay tuned. You guys are going to love this one.
And we'll try to break up the podcast into like smaller segments as well. And hopefully it's more digestible for people. But, given some of our experiences in the recent days, and then some of the stuff we went through even last night, this video came across my feed, and I do listen to her quite a bit. She has some pretty good on-point advice for men and dating in general. And she came up with this, and it's like, okay, it made a lot of sense compared to some things I've been through recently, and I'm sure you can probably relate to some of it. And I think we do have some differences. Maybe not great differences, but we do have our own take on a lot of things.
Different perspectives.
Yeah.
How to look at things.
So with that, I think we're going to start rolling. We'll play it here, and we'll listen to it and try to be kind of quiet for most of it, but then we'll stop it at the end of each point, and then we'll fill in what we think. All right, ready?
Salud. Here we go.
So Sarah, tell us like it is.
The first point.
Oh, your phone dropped.
Technical difficulties.
So 10 lies.
Truth about what stay away from the shackles of corporate America.
So here's her first point.
Guys, drop a comment below and let me know if I missed anything. So number one is guys have this insatiable sexual appetite and that they can't commit. The more I get to know guys and what they're all about, this couldn't be further from the truth. But because of the invention of dating apps and our screwed up dating market right now, of course, most of the men that women are swiping on are the ones that can't commit. They can't commit, and there are a horde of women all over social media complaining about this, but the average man, or 90% of men out there, would kill to have a loyal, decent woman who would make them a sandwich every once in a while. Just kidding. Number two.
You shoot me, I shoot the camera. Finger guns everywhere.
Oh, wait. Is she on number 2 already?
Simply a result of cultural traditions and expectations of how they're supposed
Yeah, we're on number 2. Let's pause that.
But so that first point was an insatiable sexual appetite. And
I agree with that. Oh, not only the first part.
First part.
No, but can commit. I was going to have you, myself, and a Kyle, a young friend of yours or ours now, and we're kind of like each other's, master-teacher relationship kind of thing, role models, whatever you want to call it. And the three of us, I think, we're all decent guys. We're all relatively a little bit different in age, and I think none of us are commitment phobic by far. Yeah. I think what we really want is just to find that one decent woman. And as far as insatiable appetite for sex, I'm like, sure, I'm okay with that. That one I do agree with.
Does. And one thing I want to say about that too is first you say that it is such a sexual world now. Everything is sexualized. Everything is just based on that. It seems like I can't scroll through Facebook without coming across some young honey trying to show off her body and get you to subscribe to her page or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like I think that's really messed up the market. I don't think it's really men that aren't going to commit. I think that is more lies on the women that show them why they don't want to commit with them. Because you could take any man, and if you make him a sandwich, in metaphorically speaking here, but if you do show them some care and show them some, hey, I want to be here for you, you're more than likely they're not going to be scared to commit.
It's basic gratitude, and it's a simple gesture, right? And that's going all the way back to our beginnings. That's what was one of your first statements that I took a lot of flack for, but I defended it, and for a good reason. It was the women just focused on make me a sandwich, huh? Make me a sandwich, huh? Yeah. But it was no. It's like listen to the whole story. He was talking about gratitude, and give and take, it's just What else did she say? What was another point that within that one was? Did you have anything else or?
Yeah, that is, She
I
does
should've
a
wrote
great
more
job
down.
explaining that. So now I've lost my concentration on it. So we gotta,
She does, yeah, she does, and she's largely on point. And I don't disagree with anything she said, and that one, that was a very good one.
yeah.
With that, should we?
Want to roll on to the next point here?
Yeah, maybe dial it back a bit,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
and then let her talk about.
To have a loyal, decent woman who would make them a sandwich every once in a while.
Oh, I don't know how that came back up.
Just kidding. Number 2,
wasn't
men
kidding.
are unemotional. Many of the differences in
Yes,
the ways
that's
that
it,
men and women
unemotional.
express emotions are just simply a result of cultural traditions and expectations of how they're supposed to act. Women are allowed to express certain emotions without judgment, and men are expected to suppress certain emotions, but men deal with a crippling fear of rejection from partners, from women, along with societal expectations of how to display certain emotions. So every time a man opens up his mouth, he has to think about the ramifications of his emotions and
Not
how
me.
those are going to be perceived by his loved ones or even strangers. We don't allow men to cry. We don't allow men to be weak because most women's vajayjays would dry up like the Sahara Desert on a summer day. So what is a man to do? A lot of women complain that men go from
There are
0
some
to
good
100
points.
within a few seconds, and I get it. I've experienced this myself. But women do the same thing. It's just that a lot of men have not learned how to regulate their emotions because we don't teach men how to do that because we tell them to man up. So of course women think that they're handicapped with their emotions, but really we just don't have a lot of patience for men in our society. But men are rather emotional. Number 3.
So I got 2 points that off the top of my head with that one I want to go with, and it was men are supposed to have emotional management skills. You know,
Yeah.
I don't like how the words that she uses there, but when I see somebody who can't manage their, and we all have ups and downs in life.
Yeah, we're all
You
human.
know, and we all can go through that, and you know what I mean, and there is. But it doesn't mean that somebody's got to freaking rub your back and tell you everything's going to be okay because, you know, you're having a rough time. You know,
Doesn't have to be constantly. Once in a while is fine. But I mean,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
that's usually with the couple behind closed doors. That's what they're
Exactly,
The man's
exactly.
does have to keep his emotions in check because honestly, we could be more dangerous beings if we don't.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of becoming a man from a boy to a man is being able to manage that kind
Yep,
of stuff
yep.
and understanding that. So
And before I don't want to lose track here, so my next
Sure.
point on that one is when she mentioned how, you know, she'll dry up if you see a man cry, you're
Yeah.
gonna dry up faster, and what that's meaning is that, you know, she's not gonna find you attractive anymore. And I think that's absolutely true because this goes back into other podcasts that we've talked about and such about how being a good person can really that dries up a woman. You know what I mean? It really does. And you can buy her flowers and then do everything in the world for her, and then she's just like, ick, I don't like this guy no more. And on to the next
yeah,
one.
that's something that's relatively. I don't know if it's always been.
I
there.
don't know,
I don't know
yeah.
if that's something that.
No, I don't
Women are
think so.
being
I think that's a
taught
new age
that
thing.
that they don't need a man, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep.
They can stand without them, and that's fine and all. And I have daughters. I want to raise them to be independent and strong. However, my whole point is you're stronger as a team, and a family is stronger as a team. When a man and a woman are
Yep.
working together and running
Way
a family together,
stronger.
way stronger. So you're more than twice as strong. I mean, it's an exponential increase.
Oh, yeah.
and it's
It
valid.
multiplies your strength.
It's
Doesn't
valid.
add
It
to
keeps the the children not necessarily in line, but it gives them a good example of how a good relationship, healthy relationships are supposed to be. So there's a lot there, and emotional management's a big part of that. And I think it's not just the men; it's also the women that need that too. And I constantly refer to the age of adult the age of adult adolescence. Adult aged adolescence. I'm screwing that up. This is actually my first beer.
No way. I don't believe him.
But it's one of those things where we need to keep things in check, but we also need to have that person that we can talk to about it, right? And that's what we need to confide in with a woman. But we have to trust her to do that because all too often, I think she gets into this a little bit later, if not in this video, she has in others. where women have a tendency to use a man's emotions against him.
Yeah.
They'll hold on to it. They'll come back in an argument and they'll hit him with it, and that's not good at all.
Yeah.
Then a man's not gonna, you know what? I'm gonna pull back. I'm not gonna talk to you anymore about it, and that's where the relationship starts breaking down and closing down.
Hell has no fury like a woman scorned. So when you upset a woman, she goes to stab you right in the heart. You know what I mean? Instead of talking about things or whatever. I know you're upset at me, babe. You know, or however. But they'll use your weaknesses.
They can punch a man because they think men are tough, right?
Yeah.
And we can take it, but we still bleed, we still hurt. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think those are good points. She's, I think, not as on point with this one as she was with the first one, but I think we have our opinions of how men need to.
Yeah, like men do have emotions, but we got to manage them. And it is one of the great things of the world to be able to have a companion beside you, where if something is bothering you, you can kind of let go of that for a minute and just get a release and then get back to it, you know. And I think so women, if you can chime in here or something, you know, give us a comment on something here about why that is with you people, you guys.
What do you mean, you people?
My back's against the wall.
But, women in general, let us know on your side.
The nice guy finishes last. Why is it that when you guys don't? It's like women don't want a man to open the door for them anymore. You know, or it's like, you know, you open the door
my
for
age
me?
group, they still
And
they still appreciate that for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of jackass thought that was, like some sort of male dominance thing. Like, give me a break. Like, you understand women put a lot of effort into their looks. We understand that, man. Let me get the door for you. Let me do some stuff for you. And it's just a man being courteous to his woman to do that. And I don't just open the door for my woman. I do it for my friends. I do it for random people in the street. Here you come, man. I'll hold the door open for you. It's just being kind and courteous. That's all it is. But when it's focused on his woman, it's extra special. It means more. Let me do this for you. Very small gesture. Anyway, I think that's a little off topic here. So with that, I think we'll roll into part 3.
All right, part 3. Here we go.
Men want a woman who will be submissive and just a 1950s housewife. So really, I don't think that this is true for most men. I think men do appreciate women who like to work or like to bring home and contribute something. And that not all the burden of maintaining a household falls on his shoulders, because it's a lot of pressure and nowadays. What men do not appreciate is when they have to come home to a very competitive wife and or girlfriend. A lot of women will also be, they were working, and they will kind of try to outshine his accomplishments. And the biggest complaint that I hear from men is though they never feel that they are recognized strictly for their accomplishments. It's always kind of this like quid pro quo, where they turn back to the woman and what she's doing and all the things that she's doing. And let's be honest, men get a lot of their value and drive by their accomplishments, by providing and protecting. And, they're cool with like going off to war, but at least can we like congratulate them when they get back, right? They want to be recognized and appreciated for their efforts and for their sacrifices from the women in their life. So I think one of the things that I had to learn was to go to work, right? Go do your thing, live your dream life. You do you, big sis. But at the end of the day, if you want to have a good man, you need to, appreciate what he does and just say thank you every once in a while. I think what most women don't understand is that he would absolutely be your biggest fan if you were to recognize him. But women don't lead with that femininity. They think that being strong is going off to work, is getting accomplishments, and kind of they become like this one-up. And guys don't like that. So my suggestion is to girls, like, go get your recognition and feel good about that. But don't just rely on your man, because there's nothing more amazing and more gratifying to a man than his woman recognizing his efforts to be, the protector and the provider, and to recognize his growth that he's putting in. And another big lie, number 4.
Yeah, that's a big one. I like that.
Yeah, I know, I do too. I like that one.
I mean, the housewife thing is kind of like a bit of a joke. I mean, in terms of it's very uncommon, but it's not. It does happen nowadays where there are some women. Women still have that choice, they can still, if they're with someone, they can still choose to be the stay-at-home mom and take care of the home while he takes care of everything outside. They can choose to do that and work part-time, and then, you know, maybe provide a little extra income, and then maybe he does a little extra around the house, that type of thing. Or they can choose the career, and then they both have to work it out. And then I think it is a bit of a competitive nature for some reason with women. That's what I've noticed. It's just a little tit for tat kind of thing. Like, this isn't a competition. We're trying to build something together.
Yeah, well, I think that this has stemmed from TV and like movies and shit. I really do. I've just really been paying attention to TV, and it's all, every single time I turn on the TV and watch a show, it's always me, and this, and it's like, it's never you. Hey, how can I help you?
Us.
It's never what can I do for you?
What can we do? What's best for the family?
It's always, oh, this happened to me, or look what I did, or this. It's always me, and to me that is selfish. And so what I want to say, how I'm going to relate that to here is, she was talking about men don't get recognized for their sacrifices. Mm-hmm. For men, the only way you can get a reward is through sacrifice. Women are rewarded just for putting on lipstick. You put on some red lipstick and walk into a bar and everybody's like, whoa.
They're going to get doors for you. They're going to buy you drinks. They're going to give you a lot of attention.
You get rewarded literally just for putting on lipstick.
Yep.
You know, I got to cut my fingers 12 times and hit him with a hammer and just to bring home a paycheck so that we can have milk. And here we are, you know. And those sacrifices are unseen. But you know what? When you smash your finger with a hammer and it hurts for 3 freaking weeks, you know, but those are minor sacrifices with that. But those are the things that men go through that, you know, not many women go through.
So the military thing is actually an extreme one, going to war, right? And that's what formerly men used to do more often. You know, take that in consideration. Like, go to a VA hospital. I mean, see how many of those guys are banged up, beat up, losing limbs, PTSD, whatever it is. Those guys did that for us back here.
Yeah.
Especially for their women, if that's what they have, right? So those guys paid a much higher sacrifice.
Oh, yeah.
And it's for everything that we underappreciate here today. And I guarantee there are some women out there, I'm sure, that have joined the armed forces and have done that too, but it's largely men. And that's something that need to be appreciated. And once you said reward them when they come back, I think of the old, the World War II, the famous kiss, the guy taking his woman and kind of it's just a beautiful photo in the New York streets. Yeah, it's but something like that. It's like, you just, understand that it's not a competition.
Jody's always lurking, though. You better be careful.
No, it's not a competition, and showing a little appreciation here and there goes a long way. And I do remember another comment somewhere, maybe it was a comedian or something like that. It's like, men will take one compliment, and we'll take that for the rest of our lives to the grave. You know, I got a great compliment and blah, blah, blah. Women seem to want that on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And they need...
That's because they get it on a daily basis.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, so they're used to it. But
and
if they don't get it from you, they can take to social media, and then they get a lot of attention there, and then that pulls their attention away from the family unit, which is not admirable. It's not something that's going to help things. It's only going to complicate things.
Yeah.
So I think that's all I got to add to that one. I think she's pretty on point with that one.
Yeah,
I like that one.
It is on point. But to go back with everything else, men still got to have emotionally management skills, and understand that it does take sacrifice. Mm-hmm. Like, I hate it when a guy's bitching, but he can't even change a tire or do something, and it's like, dude, but you're in this position now, so you got choices here. Do something to change that. It is going to take sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice your time. You're going to have to learn skills or do things outside of,
dirty
of
up
what
your
you're
clothes.
normally into. You know what I mean? And the only way to make those changes is by doing that. And it always takes sacrifice, even if it's unrecognized.
Yeah.
So we can move on to the fourth point here.
Number 4, men like to chase. One of the biggest lies I think
I don't even chase my liquor.
Good men
I don't like to run.
Like to chase after women. Now, there is a distinct difference between a girl who's playing hard to get and or using her best judgment to kind of pace physical intimacy in a new courting relationship. A woman has a lot of power in the beginning of a relationship to control the pace of how things are going, especially from a physical standpoint. As long as the man feels that there is reciprocation happening, that there is a back and forth, that he knows that you're interested, he's not going to get breadcrumbs. He's not going to be okay with that, but he also doesn't want to chase. But there's a lot of women who are taught to play games, taught to not respond, for many hours, to be out and about, to act like they're not interested, because men only like, a challenge. And once they get that challenge, they feel like, the chase is over. But emotionally unavailable does not equate to high value. So a man will only try so hard. A man will only give so much before he says, you know what, I'm done with this. She's not giving to me what I want, or she's just probably entertaining 5 other guys. So, you'll like lose him because he won't chase. If a woman is really smart about dating and knows, who she is, she's going to initiate text messages. She's going to initiate interactions, probably, let's say 30% of the time, and then let him take the lead the rest of the time. But the guy's not going to stick around if there is zero interest from a girl. Men have self-esteem and self-worth issues just like women do. But we expect them to be these, almighty pursuers and chasers and to pass every shit test. And we expect them to cross over this barrier and come after us. But that's just not how things work. That's just not the case with good men. And especially men who have other options, they'll definitely will only put up with that for so long, or they'll hit it and quit it because it's way too much of a game, and another girl is probably going to be willing to give him a little more reciprocation. All right, number 5.
Probably not. You're still probably going to meet the same woman over and over again because it seems like all the women is the same now. But
she's making some really good points on that one.
Yeah.
And men don't chase. I think that needs some clarification. I think a really good man won't chase. Other males will.
Those are called betas.
Beta males, and then look at the guys that players, right? The guys,
cuckolds.
Yeah.
They love the chase.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with that very much so, because it's not even about chasing. It's, I don't want to bug you, because if I genuinely like you, the last thing I want to do is bug you when you're busy doing something, or try to interject, or try to invite myself
it is the last
over
thing
to something. You know what I mean? And it's so that might be another reason why men don't really text back as much, is because they don't want to bug, or they don't want to invite themselves. If the woman that they're trying to establish a relationship with doesn't invite them.
Yep.
So, and then on the same point is, if you don't hang out with me, or don't want to respond, or don't want to do nothing, why, I'm not going to chase you. You're going to show me how, if you're interested in me, you're going to show me. And this goes back to one of the main talking points that I really like to hit on all the time, is if, women got so many options through all these dating apps and everything now, and it's, you got to be there in the talking stages, and if you can't be there for the talking stages, why would I think you're going to be there when we're dating?
Yeah. Yeah, if you're entertaining other guys and stuff like that. I've made this, on my side of it, I've made this mistake more than once now, where you go on the dating apps and you finally get a few of them talking, and it's like, okay, I got 3 or 4 I'm talking to right now. But then I find one I actually like. And I'll pause and I'll go to the other ones. Okay, I found someone I like. I want to give her a chance. I want to focus on them. And I just, dismiss them, and I'm not ghosting them. I'm doing a polite thing. And usually really cool with that.
Because we're honest freaking men,
and then when I focus on the one and it doesn't work out, I'm like, fuck. But it's just a matter of, because women, I don't think will do that. I think women will keep playing and keep playing and keep playing. And
until they're absolutely certain that this is the one. And life isn't a certainty.
Maybe it's a better method, but I don't agree with it. I mean, just kind of tired of the fucking dating thing. It's just want to find a decent woman, a decent woman to spend your time with. But there's a difference between playing games and having game, and I think that's something that people really confuse. And it's probably just a semantics thing, where we're just, English and language sucks. Just we're mixing words up. We use the same word and we mean different things. So people are like, I don't like playing games. And then it's like, well, you don't have game. I'm like, well, having game is how you can interact with women.
Yeah.
How you interact with women, how you keep their attention, how you can work with them. It's not
making
playing
jokes,
games.
making them smile.
Playing games is like, well, okay, she took an hour to text me. I'm going to wait an hour to text back. I'm like, no. And it's like, there's a little bit of that maybe. And maybe if you're texting throughout the workday, it's like you're busy, whatever. That's just natural. It happens. Texting is not a good form of communication. I don't like it. You really have something important to say? Call me. If you have something even more important to say, we'll show up in person.
I might actually be retarded because I do not understand that mental thought process of, well, it took an hour to text back, so I'm going to wait an hour. That makes absolutely no sense to me. Why that would even be in somebody's head.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, no, if you want to text her or if she wants to text you, like, text.
Because it's
like,
playing
say
games
hi, say what's up.
people are always trying to figure out what's going on the other side.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's not playing games.
But if you're honest, like what I just talked about, like if you're honest during the talking stages before you're even dating and stuff, you know, and you go to the, you know, maybe you do talk to a few other women and you go, hey, I found what I like. I want to entertain this. I want to see where this one goes. This woman's amazing. I really want to start something. I don't think there's one woman in today's society that would follow that kind of path. They're always going to have options available until they know that that's the one, because, you know, having that in your back pocket. And
another one to her point was, you know, you often hear, where are all the good men at? Where are all the good men at? Well, they're the ones that weren't bugging you. Yeah. And you stopped entertaining them and you went on to somebody else.
You flowers and then you thought about it and you went ick and then stopped talking to him. You know?
It's not a game to win. It's like, oh, I got flowers and I got his full attention now. It's like, I won. Now I can just move on to something else, and that's not healthy.
Women are very impatient, I believe, in today's society.
Yeah.
You know, if you meet an impatient man, I think that he just doesn't have the skill sets that dictate whether you can be a good person or not. You know, because
that's
having
emotional regulation
is
too, right?
important. You know, and if I'm talking with a woman for a while, and we start going on dates and such, you know, and she goes, well, I got to do this. That's no problem, baby. Do that. I want you to have your life. Mm-hmm. You know, I will be patient with you till you're ready, and then we can go out to Coney Island, get some food, or go to the park.
Take care of your business. Come back when you
kayaking, or, you know, explore the world. Whatever shall be there. So,
you know what? That's also like acknowledging a strong female, right? It's like, you go take care of your business. You do what you got to do, and then when you have time to focus on it, when we have time to focus on each other, then we do that.
So I don't think women are as patient in today's world, to where if a guy's got something going on and then it's like, well, then she's just going to start talking to this other guy, I think, you know, a day later.
Patience in general is a short supply, right, for both men and women, but I think more so with women. Yeah. And I don't know, because I think women deal with an emotional based system where men deal with a bit more logic. Yeah. And when women deal with an emotional-based system, they make a decision based on how they feel. And yet, we have to understand women's brains feel differently throughout the month.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It goes with their cycle, and there's nothing against it, but it's just how they act.
Menstrual.
We have to understand this. You know, it's like, it's one of the things that help you navigate the world is this understanding. So
but that's it. Like if you spill some milk and you can't laugh about it, instead you fucking throw a fit. You know, then you have poor emotional management skills, and I know that was like number 2 or something. Yeah. But that kind of relates to this one that we're talking about now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Well, do you want to get another beer and we'll continue from here?
Yeah. Let's get another beer. Stay tuned.
Be right back.
There's a lot of talk about new beginnings. What about those happy endings? Cheers.
Now in Smell-O-Vision.
Here's one for all the pub goblins out there. Yeesh. Good luck.
Bring us pints of beer. Don't drink, you can live. Bring us pints of beer. We gonna drink now and here. Bring us pints of beer. Don't drink, you can live.
I know I'm in a rut in terms of dating, but I'm not gay.
Well, Dan, that's kind of why we're doing this. To try to help not just us, but all men out, and even give women some understanding. So, all right, we're back in the pub. We're reviewing Sarah Dawn Moore's 10 Lies That Women Are Told About Men. And I think this is we're on number 5 now. So,
Yep, number 5.
All right, so let's listen to her, and then we'll make her comments.
All right.
If they look at another woman or are attracted to another woman, that means that they just aren't as interested in you.
I back that up because she missed a...
What a lie. And a little more reciprocation. All right, number 5.
Number
if
5.
they look at another woman or are attracted to another woman, that means that they just aren't as interested in you. What a lie. If a man looks at another woman, it does not mean that he wants to leave you for her. It doesn't mean that he even wants to sleep with her. Okay, maybe just a little, but men are visual creatures. So when a beautiful woman walks by, it's almost as like the color red is flashing in your eyes. It's just a little diversion.
That's a great analogy.
So just like when we
Really.
walk into Target and get sideswiped by the latest dollar lines on the left side of the store, women, you know what I'm talking about, we're just drawn to different things. And men are just drawn to beautiful women. But that doesn't mean that they don't have any self-control or that they don't have the ability to hold themselves accountable. It's just like admiring a beautiful painting that is on a wall in a museum. Women get wildly jealous and take it to mean that there is some sort of insecurity within the relationship or that he just isn't as interested in her. But once again, that is just a total lie. Number 6.
So, yeah.
You go ahead.
That all women are beautiful. That every single one.
Mm-hmm.
It's how whoever God or whoever created us, it's women are meant to be attractive. Men are rugged and we're scarred up and we're cut all the time. And women are just meant to be, or I don't want to say that, I don't want to say like that, not meant to be, but that typically is what happens when a woman is classy and dressed up. It will catch your eye and you will look over there.
That's by design too, and that's just innate
Yeah.
in women to do that, dress that way, to kind of. And then it's funny how some of them are just like, oh, the man's looking at me, or oh, that man's looking at me. It all depends on their opinion of that person that's looking
There's
at them.
actually a lot to unpack about this.
Yeah, that one's
right
a big
here.
one. Yeah,
It really is.
And you know, I've been in those relationships before where it's like you're walking through the mall or whatever, and you got to have the blinders on because, oh my God, good-looking woman's walking past me, because she can hear those neck muscles go.
Yeah. But also, women set up thirst traps all the time.
Yeah.
And they do things all the time. Like you need to go shopping with your Brazilian butt lift and your yoga pants on, and
Damn those yoga pants.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I love
and
them.
things like that. Like no, like you know what you're doing, and you know you could have chose different attire, but you didn't because you don't mind. You enjoy the fact that men are looking at you. Mm-hmm. You know, and so.
But it doesn't mean, going back to her point, it doesn't mean that we're just gonna leave our woman and chase that one. We'll look, and then we have a thought, and then it's over. And then
But I think that's
moving
what
on.
it is, having that relationship, that good foundation and love.
Yeah.
Because this is one of the next comments, you know, that we got to get into here, you know. But when a woman hurts a man, it is really, really easy to even admire other women's beauty. Mm-hmm. Because now you're hurt, and those things might carry on and exist into that realm a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, would this person be a better partner for me? But you don't know. You have never even met that girl before. You don't know if she's a psychopath or is going to try to stab you, you know, because you spilt the milk one time.
Right, and that's
You
the
know.
other qualities that we were looking about, relating to, you know, and the intellectual, the lovingness, the kindness, the communication.
Yeah.
It's not always just about sex, and that glance is all about sex.
Yeah.
But everything else is what we
That's
also
one of
value.
the other topics that we're going to get into, or
Right.
not, you know
Oh,
what I
it's
mean?
coming up.
But,
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but and then the other thing there is like it's like you don't, like I said, you don't know them, but you do know the woman that you're with.
Yeah.
You know that you're going home to something comfortable and
Yeah.
happy and secure and nice and you can't, you know what I mean? Just because you know, your eyes wander somewhere else doesn't mean anything at all. It's designed by nature.
It's just what we do.
Yeah, it's designed by nature.
All right,
But-
so is that all you got?
Well, I mean, there's a lot to unpack on that one, but
Yeah,
we can move on.
We can
you
move
know.
on. All right.
They can really.
Well,
think
actually, I
about
do
that.
want to touch base on one more thing because the whole thing about like working out and there's this big thing on the internet now. These girls videotaping themselves working
Oh,
out
the gym, yeah.
and they wear these provocative outfits to do it. And,
Yeah.
and
Then they get mad when people look at them.
yeah. You want your views on your fucking social media.
Yeah.
Once again, me.
They're
I
recording it so
want
people
my
look at 'em.
views. I want this and I want that. So you wear these slutty fucking things to the gym, and then you're mad when people look at you too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like no, get out of here. But that was just one other thing. But
Yeah.
we'll move on here.
Back it up, yeah.
Yeah.
And take it to mean that there is some sort of insecurity within the relationship or that he just isn't as interested in her. But once again, that is just a total lie. Number 6, they can really think about nothing. They aren't thinking about leaving you or coming up with some scene in their mind when they are quiet. What happens with women is when men are thinking about nothing, we automatically assume that they are thinking about problems with us or with something I said. Something is happening in his brain. He's planning his escape to leave me. That's what goes through our mind. It creates this deep insecurity within us because we don't have the ability to do that. We have things going on in our mind all the time. And, we tend to be a little bit more insecure in our relationships by nature when it comes to our personality. So we will make stuff up in our head, worst case scenarios, and we just think about all the things that
This
can
one
happen.
ties into
There's
that.
so much on our mind at any given time. But sometimes men can just put that stuff aside. There's lies that we're told that he must be thinking about another woman or he must be thinking about who knows. But a lot of times he's like thinking about sex with you. That's a lot of times it's happening. Number 7, men just want...
Yeah.
Okay, you want to start or?
Well, I don't know. That's what I don't like about this one a little bit is because she says that men can just think about nothing. And I don't know. I don't think that that's true. I think we are always thinking.
I struggle.
And it kind of goes back into some of the other points that were made before, where it's like, am I bothering her too much? Anyway, you know what I mean? When your man is quiet, it probably does mean something is going on. But if he tells you that he's not managing his emotions enough, and you might think like ick, like I don't like him no more because he expresses emotions to me.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't he just be quiet?
Yeah.
Because I'd rather be quiet, So I don't really agree with that one too much. That men can just think about nothing. No, men do not think about nothing. We have so much stress on our heads, and we always got to bust our ass every day and try to be the best that we can be, just in hopes to find a nice woman.
Yeah, I agree, and then I also disagree. Me
Well, you
personally,
can't do that. That doesn't exist.
Yes, I can. Is it on a spectrum or is it digital?
It's on
Is
a
it the binary?
spectrum.
Which one is it? Anyway, no. Different subject. So, me personally, I struggle with the whole non-thinking thing because my brain is constantly going. However, there are guys that can sit there and literally think about nothing, and I think that's kind of a mode that a lot of guys can get into. And I do know there's one way to kind of get me there, but and it's just the point where. But when that does actually happen, the analogy is it's like you're defragging your hard drive on a computer, and when you're doing that, it's just getting rid of all the junk and then reconfiguring everything so it runs more efficiently. And I think some men kind of need that calmness or quietness, and then that's it. So, but we come out of that better, and we come out of that more stabilized, and it's maybe part of the emotional regulation too. That's something we have to kind of go through.
The real relaxation that comes with having a beautiful or a good woman on your side.
Yeah, because comfort in knowing she's going to be there. Right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Yep. You know what I mean? It's hard for a man to relax if he's got to worry because you went out with 3 of your slutty friends to a club. And even though you're not, I've seen your friends and how they act and how they pursue situations that you make, that you get yourself into. It's like, of course I'm scared and nervous and this and that. And now I'm not thinking about nothing anymore. I don't have that relaxation just to think about nothing.
All right, so we kind of have all different opinions on that one. That's a pretty good one though. But yeah, it also kind of demonstrates there's differences in the male and female brain and how they operate. And like she said, women can't shut down, and then they start going to the negative, and they start fearing the worst. Mm-hmm. And that kind of brings me back to like Stoic principles. If you have that kind of software running on your brain, the Stoicism and focusing on things you can control versus not focusing on the things you cannot control, because you're just going to waste energy doing that. And that's cause for anxiety. It's cause for a lot of things. And that's something that you need to get control of. And that's probably more on the female side than it is on the male side. But we don't teach good philosophies. And that's, I think, something that needs to be taught at a younger age. And something I instill in my children that hopefully will take hold in them, and they can manage it a little bit better for themselves. So a lot of times when I'm doing stuff like this, it's not just for guys like us. It's also for women out there. But I also want this evidence to carry on through my legacy, through my children, and maybe their children's children, if so desire. So the fact that this is put out there digitally, hopefully it lasts forever, and hopefully someone can pick up something from it and do some good in the world. So. Yeah. But yeah, that's my little. I'll get off my soapbox now, and we'll move on to the next point.
Number 7. Let's see what.
This is a good one.
What's her name? Sarah.
Sarah. Yep.
Yeah, Sarah Moore. Sarah Dawn Moore.
Very lovely woman too, and I love her calmness and her demeanor. But
yeah, she's well put together for sure.
Mother. No, they don't.
So we're gonna rewind. We're gonna go through it here.
About who knows, but a lot of times he's like thinking about sex with you. That's a lot of times what's happening.
What can I do
Number
next?
7, men just want a mother. No, they don't. They want nurturing.
Like this one.
They don't want mothering. And there's a huge difference between mothering and nurturing. And the big thing is mothering can be very condescending at times. It can sound like, what are you doing? Where are you going? Why are you doing this?
Yeah, but stepmothering might be nice.
Nurturing is, what can I get for you? Or better yet, what can I get when you walk in the door? Can I get you a drink? Knowing what he likes when he comes home and already having it made for him. Women have this ability to predict people's needs before they even know what other people need themselves. Just like knowing what kind of a cry a baby has, whether they're hungry, sick, nauseous, gassed. Women have this amazing ability to detect what is happening with that baby. It's ingrained in us. So, men, they don't really want the mothering side. They don't want their mother. That's creepy. They want a woman who is nurturing. And there's a big difference. All right, so moving on. Right. Number 8, men.
Yeah, I like that one. I can't add a lot, but I think the distinction needs to be had. And I think that's women can tap into their abilities to read a person, especially their man. If you're real well in tune with your man, you could probably figure out quickly if he's size, then you can kind of figure out how to help him out. It's like, okay, I know he's going through this right now. Then you can
maybe
do whatever
he just needs a back scratch and be able to think about nothing for a second.
Yeah, maybe.
See? Maybe he just needs a little bit of that peace.
And that little small gesture that she would do, or like just rubbing the back or whatever, would assure him that, it's okay, and then he'll pull through much quicker.
Yeah, things might be a little rough right now, but I got you, babe.
Yeah.
I got you, babe. So guess what? Everything's going to be all right.
That's right.
And things like that. But yeah, nurturing is definitely key. I definitely agree with that.
So ladies, tap into your femininity, because that's a beautiful thing. It really is. And it's an ability that men really don't have, and we can't do nearly as well. So that's something that men should appreciate, and I certainly would. Yeah.
That is one of the things that I guess disagree with the independence of women and stuff, though. I don't know if this really ties into that, but women are the only ones that have kids. Men have never had kids ever in all of history, in all of life existence. Okay, they've never had a child come through the portal of life.
Not even Jesus.
Only women, yeah. And so they women, that is ingrained into them, that nurturing and the mothering and those things. You know what I mean? And You know,
They are simply better at it than men.
so it's the same as like how a praying mantis knows how to, you know, get food or whatever, or just
Instincts.
I was going to go into something there, but you know, cut his fucking head off.
I was gonna say, yeah, they bite the males' heads off. You know that, right?
But just anything you think of, you know, that's why
That's
things
not
are the
nurturing.
way, because it's happened for thousands and thousands of years. You know,
So her man sighs and she goes, "Okay, time to rip your head off and eat you." No.
no more sandwiches for you.
All right, I think we can move on to the next one. That was good.
Yep. Oh gosh, here we go.
Number 8, men just want sex. This is a huge one.
Yeah, so sex
Maybe
is
when they
number
were in high
8.
school. But men who are good, men who are kind, men who want to have a relationship with you, they want to feel comfortable with regards to sex and you giving your body to them. So many women are told that if you make a man wait, then he will leave or go find it from somewhere else. And that's once again maybe the top 10% of men that all women are dating right now because they don't have, you know, patience to wait. That's the lie. But that's just not true. Men actually value other things as well. Most men do not want you to feel forced. They want you to feel safe. You know, they want to feel like you want to give your body to him. And it's a pretty big deal.
Like I'm not
What happens
raping
is
you.
that she didn't create enough bonding with him or enough of, you know, kind of that, she didn't pace the relationship. So she gives it up within the first or second
Unless
date.
she wanted it.
And then wonders why he loses interest. Men secretly want to know that you respect your body and that you are selective with who you give yourself to. And if any man doesn't tell you that or doesn't come across like that, then he is not the right man for you. But
100%.
men just don't want sex. Number 9, he
Slow
doesn't want to be
down
with
there,
someone
woman.
that
Yeah.
It's not that we don't want sex, or not that we just want sex. We want all the other things, the bonding and the conversation, and bonding is huge, and that's a bigger word. There's more into it. We want to know that you're going to be around, and we're not going to run away at the first chance. Making them wait. If you're really interested in that woman, you'll wait a little bit. There's this give and take with a lot of that, but I think it's more than just sex. It really, we want that, of course, but we want more than that. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of women don't understand that. They think men just want sex, and he's only interested in me for that. Like, women can vet that out. And making them wait sometimes can maybe help vet that out. But
Well, sex is a huge part of a relationship. It is,
It's
you
the
know,
glue.
and a lot of times it's always hard to talk about because everybody's got different situations and shit like that. But sex is a really important part of a relationship, and when you do have good sex, it does make it much better.
Oh, yeah.
Or I don't want to say like much better, but it's I don't know what aspect that really holds on to, but when you. I truly believe this. The only way you get good sex, it comes with a good relationship. You know, because
it definitely improves it.
I can't tell you how many times I've had a one night stand and I've literally like didn't even have sex with her. I like told her, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing right now? Like, why are you just went home with me? Like, I did want to have sex with you, but now that I learned about you, I want you to have a good life. Like, do not be making these decisions here, you know? And
You might be overthinking it.
you know, the other times I go home and have fun, you know what I mean? It all depends on my mood too, but you know, I have had that, man, but just never didn't even date this girl. We just kind of had our thing and it was beautiful and I wanted to date her. And it's quite funny because we had sexual chemistry was through the roof. And every single day come over. Then we just, you know, have our way with each other and then hang out, eat some food, and then see each other the next day, but never dated. And then one day I was just hugging her and I was like, God, I really want to date you. Never seen her again. Wow. Never seen her again after I said that one thing. She just wanted that. She just enjoyed the sexual chemistry.
Makes you
that
wonder,
we
though.
had, you know. That one comment, that's it. Even when I said it, I seen it in her face, like how she was distraught about it.
Yeah, I think I was doing something similar. By the time I fully confessed things to her, and I was like, and then she just kind of went the other direction. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yep.
thought we had a good thing going.
Because that's one thing that we, in previous conversations here, that we have to kind of hide the emotions of what we really feel, what we really want. Like, we're just always supposed to go with the flow of things,
And going back to like one of our first points, women control that.
Yeah.
They do. They're the gatekeepers for all
You
that.
control the pace.
Yeah, and
you
we
set
have
the
to kind of
pace
play the game with you, and it's game, but it's not a. It's a bit of a dance, more of a dance than a game. I mean, it's a dance. You got to kind of flow with the dance until she's ready, and then when she's ready, hopefully, then things start working out from there. But
Yeah. This kind of ties into the yesterday story that you mentioned before. Hanging out with that girl, we sharing laughs and having a good time, and then I go into the bar and there she is with another guy, but I just went and seen her and said hi to her, and this guy got so jealous and beat up over me just saying hi to her, and that's just kind of crazy, you know what I mean? I don't know how that really ties into the sex thing, but
that's that guy's emotional regulation and his lack of self-confidence.
Yeah.
So I mean, if I were seeing someone and she said hi, then she turned her attention back to me, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
But if I started seeing her and she turned her attention fully to you and walked away from me, like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of that. That's, I don't know, but that's a whole nother story. And we'll get back to this one. That was number 8, and we're back. We'll hit number 9.
Good
else?
relationships breed good sex.
Yeah. And bonding is important, and we want more than just that.
Yeah.
Those of us that want a secure relationship.
Yep. So all right, number 9 here.
Number 9. Niner.
Challenges him.
Oh,
No,
back up.
actually, men do not the right man for you, but men just don't want sex. Number 9. He doesn't want to be with someone that challenges him. No, actually, men do like a little bit of a challenge, but what they don't want is a woman who tries to argue her point while putting him down or becomes so argumentative that once again it turns into a competition. I would say the majority of men don't just want to be with a Barbie doll. They like intellectual conversation. They want to have intellectual stimulation. They like a playful woman, a woman who is not too serious, a woman who can take a joke and who has some sarcasm in her. Some of my comments I see on a daily basis are men saying, wow, I love a beautiful, smart female. Nothing is more attractive than a woman who is elegant, classy.
Just a quick joke.
But she knows who she is.
We're gonna have a joke time here. Because of
They
what she
value
just said
how
there,
they
right there.
promise.
You know what the difference between a joke and 3 dicks are?
Oh shit! No.
Your mom can't take a joke.
He doesn't mean that, Mom.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! It wasn't to you, Miss Stanley. I'm sorry, man. Just a joke. But carry on.
She's smart, but she knows who she is and doesn't need to prove a point. They value intelligence, I promise you. Number 10, I say the best for
Oh
last.
shit! That one happened quick, right there.
Yeah. So
We
yeah, I
went through that
mean,
one.
a challenge, yes. Argument and combativeness, no. And honestly, if you're a relatively decent intellectual, you're going to understand that there's no winning a conversation.
Yeah.
It's just a conversation. You're not going to win over someone's thought process.
What
You
is
might change them a
winning
little,
anyways.
right? So yeah, it's not a win-loss scenario, and it's like I hate to even go back to the analogy of politics, but if you're a conservative, you're talking to a liberal, you're not going to swing them 100% the other way with one conversation. You're not winning that. You might, if you have open dialogue with them, you might curve them a little bit toward your way.
Yeah.
And they might curve you a little bit toward their way too, because it's just a back and forth.
Nope.
And that's what I think a lot of women just want to be right all the time. They want to be right, and they got to get the last word in, and that wears away at a man. And it wears away at me. It's like, wait a minute, first of all, you don't always have to be right. You don't always have to win the argument. It's just, I don't know why some women just get hung up on that.
They do. I don't know. I think that's kind of part of the game too. You even let them think that they win every time. You know how many ways is there to skin a cat? There's 100 ways to skin a cat. Hey, if you need, babe, you really need to win this argument here, then go ahead.
All right.
I want you to win the cat. You know what I mean? If this is what it is, or how that is. But challenge. What I want to say here with this one is, Oh my gosh, come on,
All right.
you fucking guy. Is that's kind of hard to talk about because there's so many different aspects to that. What is the challenge? And like, there's a lot to unpack on that one alone right there too. You know what I mean? If the challenge is that I got to jump through 10 hoops and freaking do this, and then chances are that you're talking to 5 other dudes anyways, then why the hell am I going to jump through all the hoops and go through all this challenge and chase?
You're entertaining
like
other
what they
things.
said, want to chase and this and that. Like, no, like, let me know that you're just talking to me. My gosh, dude, it's going crazy.
All right, I got one more point to make on this one, and what the last one I think is pretty quick, but
Be careful with your challenges. You know what I mean? If you do want to challenge your man.
so the last point for challenging him, it's like there's also like how do you treat a puppy? If you play with a puppy and you basically win, or you pull the toy away every time, like tug of war, you got to let them win once in a while.
Yeah.
When they win once in a while, then they're going to continue to play with you.
Yeah.
But if you're constantly ripping and winning, they're eventually going to be like, no, I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah.
And so if you're constantly winning arguments, or what you perceive as an argument, you're constantly winning, eventually you're going to stop playing. And I'm not going to play that game anymore, and moving on. And that breaks the bond. It starts severing the bond, and it's not good. So women don't feel like you always have to win. Just seek to understand.
I had a woman argue with me the other day about I was at my friend's house, and then here he's got a 1.5-year-old daughter, and she's got an electrical cord and trying to plug it into a socket. So I see that, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I ran over there and grabbed her and was like, no, don't do that. And I know it's wrong to get into other people's, how they raise their kids or whatever, but she was like, no, I've been teaching her how to do that, how to plug things in. And I'm like, what? Do you know, this is like 2,500 kids die a year from this, or some weird statistic like that. Like, don't be a part of that statistic. And then it was like I had to discuss and argue with her, and eventually just let her win, because I wasn't going to win. And I don't even understand how. Like, how do you have that thought process to let a kid play with the electrical socket? And I plug it in, sure enough, dude, there's a huge blue arc and shit. I'm like, God, dude, if that kid's fingers were right at the end of that, it could have been the last time that she plugged something in.
Well, I have my theories about warning labels and fitting the
Oh,
herd, but
God.
we can go on that another time.
I just couldn't believe that one. But we can move on to number 10.
Let's move on to number 10.
I think the
All
best
right, here we
Come on,
go,
Sarah,
fellas.
lay it for her. Lay it
men
down.
are so controlling. Yes. Are there some men that are controlling? 100%. Are there even as much? Are there women that are controlling? 100%. A man's behavior might be perceived as controlling to a woman because what he is worried about is protecting his greatest asset, which is his woman. It's as if he really cares about her safety.
Go figure.
Big surprise. You are a prize and you are a treasure, and him not wanting you to do something is because a lot of men can sense danger. They can sense when, other men are going to potentially be a threat to you, or they don't want you walking down certain roads or taking certain paths or being caught up in a situation that you don't necessarily know how to get out of. Yeah, that might come across as controlling to a lot of women, but I just think, challenge yourself to really think about that. Because a lot of times a man will say he doesn't want you to do something out of the protection that he feels. He feels obligated. He feels that you are a part of his responsibility. You're just one part of the tree. So I think that men get a bad rap for being controlling. Like I said, are there controlling men? Yes. Are there controlling women? Yes. But overall, men really do take pride in being that safety net for especially the woman in their life. So that's it. I wanted to do just kind of a
It's
quick
really
little
nice.
synopsis of kind of the
So,
things that I've learned.
that's a great one, because it really is. It's not controlling. It's creating a safety net for them, right? And it's like, just want to make sure you're okay. I mean, it's just, that's all I'm doing. I don't want you walking down the street by yourself in a bad area. That's kind of thing. I don't want you to put yourself in a bad situation. I'll take care of it. I'll cover it for you. I'm good with that. And I think a lot of this for me is like, it's what a good leader is. A good leader is going to lead the way. He's going to take on the dangers ahead of the rest.
Yeah.
A micromanager is going to sit there and nitpick everything you little do, and you're going to feel totally controlled by that and like stop. So it's kind of the analogy I come up with. It's like someone who's a good leader, a good man is going to be a good leader. He's going to protect his family, and typically women are going to be number one in that. When you have children, that does change the dynamic, and when you're dating and you have children from other people, it does change that dynamic a little bit. But they're still ingrained in men. Still want to take care of the woman in their life, right? Yeah. And it's you may not be number one if you have children with somebody else, but you're still going to be high priority.
And they are the portal to life. Like they are. If I want to have children with you, then I want to protect you at all costs. I can't afford, because you're the person I want to have a child with, I cannot afford something bad to happen to you.
Yeah.
You know, my legacy is gone because of that. If I choose, you know what I mean? If something were to happen. So there is a factor of that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got called controlling one time. A girlfriend, an ex-girlfriend of mine, you know. But it was only after that she cheated on me multiple times. And for some reason, I held on to that relationship because I truly, truly loved that woman. And then I was controlling because I was like, "Hey, where are you going? What are you guys up to? What are you guys doing?"
Well, she was
now I was controlling. Instead of saying, "I understand why you feel like this, babe, and this is what I'm going to do," it was now it turned. The tables turned, and now I'm controlling, and I'm an asshole. But that was at the point where it was
she felt like you were micromanaging, but she had already betrayed that trust.
Yeah,
she betrayed the trust, and then she was.
And
I would just assume she hadn't earned it back yet. At that point.
She came crying to me. The only reason I stayed with her is because she came crying to me and told me. I didn't learn from nobody else, you know. So she told me. So that kept a little bit of my trust there. And she was like, "I really fucked up. This is what I did, and I'm so sorry. And I love you so much, Pat. You're the best thing in my life, and I can't afford to lose you." And then it happened again. Same thing, crying, doing all this thing, same thing.
Yeah.
And it was just, you know, at a point, it was like, as soon as I started becoming controlling and things weren't, there was nothing that I learned that there was nothing I could do to save it. It was time to get out of it, you know.
So I think deep down, in general, good men don't want to be controlling. I think a lot of times when we're talking about men, we're referring to good men, which is, let's make that distinction too. And that's what she's referring to as well. So these are things that women need to identify, what difference between a good man and adult age adolescent. I nailed it that time. So that's, I think that kind of wraps it up, unless you got anything else to add to that one. Or,
yeah, really, man. That was a fun one.
Yeah,
I
Sarah
enjoyed
Dawn Moore,
this stuff.
10 Lies That Women Are Told About Men, and our take on it. And I'll try to have a link. I will have a link to the full video. You can watch that. I'm going to try to take this one. I'm turning it to 10 segments, one for each of the lies, and then I'll have the full podcast put together too. So it's going to take me a little extra time editing, but it should be worth it, and should give it a little more digestible segments that people can kind of go through. And they can watch the whole thing, or they can watch the segments. And
thanks, Sarah, for letting us use your content on here and giving us a platform to speak on or whatever. I mean, not a platform, but
definite fans too. And she puts out a lot of good information. Yeah. Totally support it, man. If you get questions, watch her. She'll guide you through. I think good people. And,
and girls, like, leave a comment. Let us know something of why if it's buying flowers or you know, washing your car or doing things like that maybe makes you go ick or not, because it is every woman looks for a good man, but yet when they find one,
when they demonstrate good things,
it doesn't make them as happy. And
don't drop like the Sahara Desert on us, girls.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And the good sex could come later. Once the love is there, you know what I mean. So
and that comes with communication too, and communication about sex. And then I found that just start talking about that up front, and it just starts building and getting better. And even that talking about it builds that tension that women love. Yeah, and it just makes it more exciting when it does happen. So,
like, what? I love reverse cowgirl. Let me get it. I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, hell, your excitement about it's going to get them excited.
But right? For sure.
But that's a thing, right? So, we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks for listening, everyone. Welcome to the pub. Tip your server as well. Mine. All right, tip your server as well, and we'll see you next time.
Salud.
Tell those
I like my sex like bad parenting. Everyone involved gets a participation trophy.
Bring that wine to beer. Don't drink, you can live. and here.